Authorities say 2 workers are dead after an explosion at Oklahoma's Cary Dam.
House Republicans make it clear that former President Trump is a part of the party's future with a vote to elevate one of his defenders. I'm Deborah Alfarone at the U.S. Capitol with reaction.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Grand River Dam Authority says 2 workers died after being trapped because of an explosion. This is KOIM News at 5. That explosion happened around 6 p.m. yesterday at Kerr Dam near Tulsa. Authorities say 3 contractors were doing routine core sample drilling and hit a methane gas pocket, triggering the explosion. 2 of the men became trapped. When authorities were able to get to the men, they found the men had died. GRDA officials say an investigation is underway. Missouri lawmakers passed legislation granting more supervision for unlicensed boarding schools in the state. The legislation would require these facilities to register with the state and have their staff background checked. It also outlines how to handle allegations of abuse or neglect. The bill was inspired by allegations of long-running abuse at some boarding schools. One survivor and child of Circle of Hope's owners says she and other survivors played a part in creating this change.
We all played a part in it as survivors of these schools, and it was just amazing to see how we did come together as a team. Like, I don't think, and I kept saying this, I don't think the schools expected us to be that strong.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more from Amanda on how she's using her experiences at these facilities to create change in the state. I know some changes are coming in the weather, but at the moment it's not too bad out there, Doug.
No, most of us have had a pretty good day across the region, but we have been watching showers, even some thunderstorms, mainly on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side, kind of scattered throughout the day, but none of these are strong or severe. Everybody else just seeing a lot of clouds, but you can see these scattered showers and a few thunderstorms sticking around. So here's Chanute, Yates Center, a couple guys near Fredonia, and you can see they do contain thunder and lightning. Down toward Independence, and then as we get into northeastern parts of Oklahoma as well. So as we go through the evening hours, those will kind of dissipate, but we'll get some scattered ones popping up here and there throughout the evening hours. But then late tonight, a big batch, showers and thunderstorms roll in. So here's 5 o'clock in the morning. These are going to push in, giving us some heavy amounts of rain really over the next couple days. We'll break it down for you here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Doug. New York Representative Elise Stefanik has been chosen to replace the demoted Liz Cheney as the House's number 3 Republican. The ardent supporter of former President Trump won today's leadership election in a 134-46 vote by secret ballot. Deborah Alfarone reports from Capitol Hill.
House Republicans face the media after voting behind closed doors to elect New York Representative Elise Stefanik as their conference chair.
My focus is on unity because that's what the American people and that's what our voters deserve.
The decision came just 2 days after party members booted Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney from the position for rejecting former President Trump's claim that the 2020 election was stolen.
I believe that voters determine the leader of the Republican Party, and President Trump is the leader that they look to.
Mr. Trump, who pushed for Cheney's ouster, released a statement congratulating Stefanik, saying in part the House GOP is united and the Make America Great Again movement is strong.
Democrats suggest the shakeup is a clear sign of former President Trump's hold on the GOP, but top Republicans say it shows that they're united against President Biden and his agenda.
The policies of Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden are destroying this nation. The border crisis has been created by President Biden's failed policies.
Cheney continues to stand her ground.
We have to get people to vote for us, and we can't do that if we are a party that's based on a foundation of lies. I think what the former president's doing is dangerous.
Cheney had survived a previous attempt to remove her from leadership back in February after she voted to impeach former President Trump on a charge of inciting the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol. On Friday, House lawmakers reached a bipartisan deal to establish a commission to investigate the attack. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
Texas Republican Chip Roy unsuccessfully challenged Stefanik but received 46 votes. The fighting is intensifying in the Gaza Strip as Israel launches airstrikes and ground attacks. Israel has called up more than 9,000 extra troops for a potential invasion. More than 120 Palestinians and 7 Israelis have been killed since the violence erupted earlier this week. A U.S. diplomat arrived in Israel today in an effort to de-escalate the tensions and violence. A little bit later, prices continue to rise.
It's not your imagination. Prices for everything from homes to food are going up. I'm Michael George with why it's happening and the impact on families.
And next in Health Watch, doctors use a new sensor to better identify and treat eczema patients. There's been a surge in doctor visits for alcohol-related gastrointestinal and liver diseases during the pandemic. New research from the Digestive Disease Week meeting compared GI consults in Rhode Island from 2019 to 2020 and found a nearly 60% increase for alcohol-related GI and liver diseases. A link between a healthier heart and better cognitive abilities. London researchers found people with healthier heart structures and function appear to have increased ability to solve logic problems and faster reaction times. The findings are important because heart disease and dementia are growing public health issues. Millions of children in the U.S. have to cope with the constant itching of eczema. But now researchers have developed a new technology that can finally measure just how much someone is scratching and help better treat patients. Reporter Laura Podesta has more.
Jan Kai Chang says his daughter Cynthia's eczema is so bad, sometimes the 5-year-old scratches until she bleeds.
We try to ask her to stop scratching when she feels itching, but you can imagine that it's too hard.
The itching can be unbearable for the 10 million kids with atopic dermatitis or eczema, but to actually measure how much someone is scratching is a challenge. Now researchers at Northwestern University have developed a first-of-its-kind wearable sensor that can quantify itching by measuring scratching.
It's sort of an old saying, you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
The soft, flexible wireless device measures vibrations from the hand and can capture all forms of scratching, finger, wrist, and elbow motion related. An algorithm doesn't flag similar movements like waving. Dr. Steve Zhu says having an objective measure of scratching can lead to better care for itchy conditions.
If things look like they're getting worse, that might require a treatment change, a treatment adaptation. It also can reinforce that something is working, right? That this child is scratching less, sleeping better.
Cynthia took part in the sensor testing, and her dad says they learned a lot.
So if it's a windy day, during the night, she was stuck scratching like crazy. So we know when it's windy, we have to apply a lot of topical like lotion moisturizer before she went to bed. And that can, significantly reduce the scratching time.
Researchers expect the sensor to be widely available as soon as the end of this year. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
While the sensor was tested in patients with eczema, researchers say it can be used with any condition that causes itch. For children with recurrent ear infections, a study finds no long-term benefits to having tubes surgically placed in the eardrum. Research in the New England Journal of Medicine says using oral antibiotics is just as effective and avoids the risks of anesthesia and surgery. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, reports say Colonial Pipeline paid a ransom to the hackers that shut down their system in a cyber attack.
Plus, showers and thunderstorms increasing across the area. We're going to talk about that coming up next. Well, it's turned out to be a decent Friday for us today. A lot of clouds, but temperatures not bad. Most of us right around 70 degrees for an afternoon high. But we have had some scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms out there on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side as we have worked through really the past couple hours. But these are really going to increase as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Upper 60s to near 70, a little bit cooler where we are seeing those showers out across Kansas and also Oklahoma. Looking east from the station, a lot of clouds, but currently sitting at 69, south winds at about 15 to 20. Humidity is at 49%. Through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 60s and then eventually mid to upper 50s for overnight lows. All right, so we've watched these scattered showers and thunder showers most of the afternoon. Kansas and Oklahoma, they have not been too strong or severe, but we are getting some thunder and a little bit of lightning out of some of these, and we have seen a few stronger storms out in our far western counties. So here's Yates Center. We can look at Fredonia over toward, let's say just to the west of Montgomery County, and then down toward Oswego. We are seeing those showers and thunderstorms, and then these continue as we go down toward Grand Lake, and then all the way into Benton County. Again, none of these are too strong, none of these are severe, and we don't expect to see anything severe as we go through the evening hours. Another batch of storms building out across eastern parts of Colorado, and that is going to actually become a big complex and plow off toward the east as we go through the overnight hours tonight. So just kind of hit and miss showers most of the evening and the overnight hours. But late tonight, a big band of showers and thunderstorms roll in. Here's 5 a.m. Some of these storms could pack a punch, some small hail, gusty winds, maybe 50 miles per hour, but I do not expect them to be severe. Heavy amounts of rain. Here's 8 a.m. These are going to continue to push through during the morning hours, and then by the afternoon, we'll kind of dry out, and then late afternoon into the evening, showers and thunderstorms will start to pop up. Some of these could be strong or low-grade severe. Severe by tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. So we need to watch that. Here's 9:30 p.m. Scattered thunderstorms through the overnight hours, and then we should get another little batch late tomorrow night into Sunday morning. We get a break on Sunday, and then as we go into Sunday afternoon, we'll see another batch of showers and thunderstorms, which will push through the region. And again, some of these, here's 5 p.m., could be strong, possibly severe. So a lot to watch as we head into the next couple days. Also rainfall. This is just over the next 48 hours. A lot of areas could pick up 1, 2, maybe 3 inches of rain where those heavier storms kind of form through the 4-state area. Then this continues. We can go through Sunday night all the way into Monday. We get additional batches of showers and thunderstorms across the region. All right, 70 degrees for us tomorrow, which the 7-day is off one day, so we'll have to fix that. So we'll look at this here. Severe weather chances. So we're going to look at Saturday. A low chance on Sunday. Now we may need to up these a little bit by Sunday, but overall, I don't think we have a high severe threat this weekend, but we do have a severe threat, so that's something we want to watch.
And I know you'll keep an eye on it for us as well. Thanks, Doug. Graduating seniors at Joplin's McCallie Catholic High School get a round of applause. Came during the school's Warrior Walk. The seniors donned their caps and gowns as they walked through the school's halls for a final time to receive cheers and applause from students and staff.
This school really is something special. You know, you don't just get that at every public school. The experience you get here of just like such a tight-knit family and just like a small environment that allows you to really just grow and learn with other people.
McCallie's graduation is scheduled for Tuesday, May 25th. Coming up, I'll look at what's behind rising consumer prices. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Johnny White served in the U.S. Marine Corps in 1974 and 75. The Kansas native was stationed in Vietnam and Cambodia, and we salute Lance Corporal Johnny White, a 4-state hero.
Visit at silverdollarcity.com.
Multiple sources tell CBS News that Colonial Pipeline paid a multi-million-dollar ransom to the hackers that hobbled its network last week. The hackers' page on the dark web is apparently down, and it's not clear whether it's a technical issue or the result of a law enforcement action. The FBI discourages but does not ban American companies like Colonial from paying a ransom. While President Biden said he does not believe Vladimir Putin's government was directly involved, he said there is reason to believe the hackers are living in Russia, and he urged Moscow to take decisive action against ransomware networks. Some of our nation's biggest banks are working on a plan to extend credit to people who don't have a credit score. According to multiple reports, J.P. Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and other banks will start looking at other information from applicants, including their checking and savings accounts, to determine who is financially responsible enough for a credit card. Even as the economy stumbles back from the pandemic, Americans are suffering the effects on their wallets. Prices are higher for everything from food to cars. And if you're building or renovating a home, well, you already know about the skyrocketing cost of lumber. Reporter Michael George explains.
As shoppers return to their local grocery stores, they're noticing a big change.
This is unusually expensive.
Prices are rising at the fastest pace in more than a decade. And CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger says it's not just at the supermarket.
It is appliances, it is furniture, it is now airline prices, hotels, rental cars.
And gasoline. Prices were elevated even before the temporary shutdown of the nation's largest pipeline.
All this starts going on and it's like the toilet paper fiasco all over again.
Homeowners hoping to build or remodel have had some of the worst sticker shock of all.
Lumber prices have gone up by 400% from a year ago. Why? Because a year ago, sawmills said, we're in the middle of an ice-cold recession. Let's shut down the mills. They shut them down. What did they not expect? For people to say, I want to remodel my house. I need to build an extension.
A new survey shows 87% of Americans are concerned about rising expenses. The question now haunting economists is whether these price hikes are a pandemic blip or a sign of a long-term threat to the economy. That threat is inflation.
At the moment, it looks as though people fully expect this inflation to be temporary, where temporary is when the economy more fully recovers.
Sustained inflation could force the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates, a move that could put the brakes on economic growth.
We are watching this. This is the most important thing on the economist's mind right now.
And a lesson that it's easier to freeze the economy than to defrost it. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Households racked up more debt in the first 3 months of the year. According to the Federal Reserve, consumer debt shot up $85 billion in the first quarter. Lower interest rates and a hot housing market pushed mortgage debt higher, but auto loans also increased and student loans rose by $29 billion. The pandemic shined a spotlight on the financial tightrope that many Americans are walking, and a new bank rate survey shows the biggest regret is not saving enough for emergencies. That was followed by not saving enough for retirement and piling on too much credit card debt. A sliver of respondents said they had no regrets. Final check of the forecast next. CBS Evening News is next. And then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on new regulations for unlicensed boarding schools passed by Missouri lawmakers. Plus, an area history museum announces it's closing down for good because of the pandemic. And overland campers gather at the site of Big Brutus for a weekend rally. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. The smart thinking might be on getting students therapy animals because of improved student thinking. A study in the Journal of the American Educational Research Association says therapy dogs are great for stress management, improving students' thinking and planning skills, and are more effective than traditional stress management programs. Washington State University researchers measured executive functioning in the 309 involved students, and they found students who were most at risk from stress ended up having most improvements from human-animal interactions, and the cognitive skills lasted up to 6 weeks after the study. A lot of dog owners know that if you have a dog, whether it's a therapy dog or just a mutt from the Humane Society, if it's a good dog, it can definitely lower stress levels.
Oh, yeah.
A bad dog, on the other hand, not so much, I guess.
Yeah, could cause a little bit more stress.
Contribute to the stress, that's right.
All right, showers, thunderstorms, a few scattered throughout the evening hours. A big batch is going to roll in late tonight into tomorrow morning. Then we'll get a break. We should make it up right around 70. And then late afternoon, evening, and overnight storms tomorrow night. Some of those could be strong or severe. And then we kind of repeat it again on Sunday, high temp of 75.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.